Welcome to the NRM Spatial Hub. The Hub provides a disruptive change in grazing management where for the first time property owners can create, manage, analyze and plan their on-ground assets online and also assess the effectiveness of management decisions over time through 30 years of global satellite imagery. On screen, I am creating property infrastructure over a sample property in Queensland. Here we can create fence lines, water points, paddocks, homesteads, roads, and a range of other assets and attribute them from a range of standard drop-down menus. We can also add specific attributes that help with further analysis, like controlling which fences constrain access to water and which water points are used as drinking sources for cattle. We can also name individual paddocks, water points, or fence lines to help with understanding context when looking at our property. When creating water points, we can also define whether they are permanent, ephemeral, or planned water points, which has an impact on how they look when we undertake our distance from water analysis. On screen, we have created a number of different water points across the property to reflect current on-ground conditions. Once we have finished with our water points, we can look to analyze the land types over our property. We can change how these land types are attributed and then clip them out for our property. If the boundaries of the land types do not look quite correct, we can flag them for review later on. On screen, we are now doing our grazing circle analysis. This identifies the areas of our property that cattle can walk to from a water point, constrained by individual fence lines. The buffer distance here are variable to reflect different animal walking distances, but also to reflect different terrain conditions. Once multiple scenarios have been created, we can simply flick back and forward between different scenarios to analyze the differences. The last major section of the NRM Hub is the analysis of the satellite data. These groups of satellite imagery products can help provide context over your property. Most of these are available for dates covering the last 30 years. The ground cover data we are looking at on screen breaks an image down to show the proportion of green vegetation, non-green vegetation, and bare ground. These are visualized by the strength of the colors red, green, and blue. There are some tools available, like the one on screen, which help to look at the differences between dead vegetation, alive vegetation, and bare ground over time, so that we can analyze the amount of food that is available for our cattle, or analyze the potential for erosion across the property. These results are available for individual land types or for individual paddocks. We can then provide additional context for this data by comparing it to the local region. We can examine the performance of an individual land type or paddock compared to similar land with similar climatic conditions in the local area. The graph on screen displays whether or not a particular paddock had more or less vegetation compared to the surrounding region. We can put this in context of our management decisions. The Hub also contains a range of other tools like profile tools, planning, measuring, and marking up for new infrastructure.